October 2025 felt more like a bonus round of summer across most of Canada. Instead of the usual chill and early frosts, the month brought an unexpected extension of warmth, surprising both meteorologists and residents alike. Parks and city streets were filled with people eager to take advantage of the gentle weather, as if summer had decided to linger just a little longer. Warmth lingered from the prairies to Ontario and Quebec, with temperatures more like late September than late October. Trees held onto their leaves a bit longer, and the vibrant reds and golds seemed to glow under the persistent sun. Farmers found themselves with extra time to finish the harvest, and families enjoyed late-season picnics and hikes. Canadians enjoyed extra time outdoors, postponing winter chores and soaking up the golden days. Patios stayed open, and children played outside well into the evenings, their laughter echoing through neighborhoods that usually quiet down as the days grow shorter. A persistent southerly flow kept Arctic air at bay, creating a gentle, extended autumn. The usual rush to pull out heavy coats and boots was delayed, and the air felt soft and inviting, carrying the scent of fallen leaves and distant wood smoke. But this warmth wasn't universal. British Columbia stood apart, with cooler, rainier weather settling in right on schedule. The Pacific coast was shrouded in mist and drizzle, a stark contrast to the sunlit scenes further east. While Toronto and Calgary basked in mild afternoons, Vancouverites reached for raincoats and umbrellas. The rhythm of autumn in Canada is never uniform, and this year, the differences felt especially pronounced. This contrast set the stage for November's dramatic weather shifts, a reminder of Canada's vast regional differences. From coast to coast, the country was preparing for whatever the next month might bring, knowing that change was just around the corner. The same atmospheric river that drenched BC was disconnected from the high-pressure ridge over central Canada. This unusual pattern kept the west wet and the east dry, a meteorological tug-of-war that shaped the month's weather. October 2025 perfectly illustrated how Canada can hold multiple seasons at once. In a single day, you could travel from golden sunshine to pouring rain, or even catch a glimpse of early snow in the north. It was a fleeting prelude, hinting that the tranquil warmth was living on borrowed time. As the days grew shorter and the sun dipped lower, Canadians knew that winter's arrival was inevitable. But, for a few precious weeks, October's lingering warmth was a gift to be savored. As November began, the mild pattern persisted, making it feel like autumn might never end. From BC's interior through the prairies and into central Canada, above-normal temperatures continued. Light jackets sufficed, and snow was nowhere to be seen in cities like Calgary and Winnipeg. A stubborn ridge of high pressure blocked Arctic air, letting Pacific warmth dominate. Ontario and Quebec also enjoyed a slow, gentle transition, with only subtle hints of change along the St. Lawrence Valley. The mild spell gave Canadians time to finish autumn chores and wonder how long it could last. But by mid-month, the atmosphere began to shift, setting the stage for a dramatic change. The calm was only a prelude to the turbulent weather that would soon sweep across the country. Nunavut experienced the most striking warmth of all, with temperatures far above normal. The delayed cold meant unstable sea ice and disrupted traditional activities, a major shift for Arctic communities. Persistent southerly winds funneled mild air north, keeping the deep freeze at bay. Thermometers in Iqaluit and Rankin Inlet showed September-like readings, extending autumn in a land where it's usually brief. Scientists saw this as a vivid example of Arctic amplification. Warming felt more intensely in the north. By mid-November, the pattern broke down, and Arctic air finally returned, ending the anomaly. The episode was a stark reminder of the North's sensitivity to shifting weather patterns. While most of Canada enjoyed lingering warmth, British Columbia followed its own script. Coastal BC saw temperatures at or below normal, with rain and cool winds arriving right on time. A persistent trough offshore brought steady marine air, keeping the region damp and chilly. The Coast Range Mountains trapped this weather, sparing the rest of the country. Ski resorts welcomed early snow, but the lower mainland settled into its familiar gray, rainy season. As November advanced, storms lined up to hit the coast, promising an active, wet month. BC was the first to feel winter's approach, foreshadowing the changes about to sweep eastward. The province's early chill was the leading edge of a nationwide pattern shift. The prairies started November united in warmth, but by mid-month, the region split in two. Alberta enjoyed extended mild weather, thanks to Pacific air and Chinook winds. Farmers finished harvests, and winter's arrival seemed far off, but a cold Arctic air mass, built in the north, poised to surge south. By mid-November, Manitoba and eastern Saskatchewan were hit by a sudden, dramatic freeze. Temperatures plummeted, and snow quickly blanketed the landscape. Winnipeg and Calgary felt like different worlds. One in deep winter, the other still clinging to autumn. The prairies became an atmospheric battleground, but by month's end, cold won out. The frigid air swept west, uniting the region under winter's grip. The gentle autumn was over, replaced by biting winds and snow. The prairie's rapid transition was a classic display of Canada's volatile weather. Central Canada began November basking in warmth, with temperatures well above seasonal norms. The air felt almost spring-like, and many people took the opportunity to spend extra time outdoors, soaking up the last golden rays of the year. Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal enjoyed gentle autumn days, with parks filled with families, joggers, and cyclists. The vibrant fall colors lingered longer than usual, painting the cities in shades of red, orange, and gold. The transition to winter was gradual at first. Instead of snow, light rain fell, and people wore light jackets or sweaters, barely noticing the subtle shift in the air. The city buzzed with a sense of extended autumn, as if winter might hold off a little longer. But, beneath the surface, the storm track was shifting. Each passing weather system dragged down a bit more cold air from the north, and the skies grew increasingly overcast. The anticipation of change was palpable, even if the signs were subtle at first. The real change came in the latter half of the month. Arctic air surged in behind the prairie's deep freeze, sweeping across central Canada and bringing a sudden, unmistakable chill. People could see their breath in the morning, and the warmth of early November quickly faded. The jet stream dipped sharply, carving a deep trough over the region. This brought a swift, decisive drop in temperatures, and the wind began to bite. Trees that had clung to their leaves now stood bare, shivering in the cold gusts. Rain turned to snow almost overnight. The first major accumulations blanketed everything from southern Ontario to Quebec City, transforming the landscape into a winter wonderland. Sidewalks and cars disappeared under a fresh layer of white. By late November, winter had taken over completely. Icy winds whipped through the streets, snow covered the ground, and sub-freezing days became the new normal. People bundled up in heavy coats, scarves, and gloves, bracing themselves against the cold. The mild start to the month was now a distant memory, replaced by the harsh reality of a Canadian winter. Mornings began with scraping ice from windshields and shoveling driveways as gray skies loomed overhead. Central Canada's rapid flip from autumn to winter was dramatic and unmistakable. The transformation from colorful leaves to endless white happened in what felt like the blink of an eye. Now, the focus shifted to bracing for the long, cold months ahead. Residents prepared for winter's challenges, knowing that the season had truly arrived and would not be leaving anytime soon. November in Atlantic Canada was defined by a relentless parade of storms. The month began quietly, but the region soon found itself in the path of powerful nor'easters. Early storms brought heavy rain and gusty winds, churning up the seas and soaking coastal communities. As Arctic air arrived mid-month, rain turned to heavy wet snow, especially in New Brunswick and Newfoundland. Blizzard-like conditions caused travel chaos and power outages, marking a sudden shift to winter. By month's end, the Maritimes and Newfoundland were locked in winter's embrace, with a deepening snowpack. The stormy pattern was a dramatic introduction to the season, highlighting the region's vulnerability to Atlantic weather. For Atlantic Canada, November was a powerful reminder of winter's force. The term pattern flip defined November's weather story. For weeks, a northern jet stream kept Canada mild, but late in the month, everything changed. The jet stream plunged south, opening the door for Arctic air to sweep across the country. This wasn't just a cold front, it was a fundamental shift, turning a mild November into a frigid one. Once the cold pattern set in, winter was here to stay. The transition was sudden and widespread, from the prairies to the Atlantic. In Canada, the change of seasons can be abrupt and dramatic. The pattern flip was winter's decisive arrival, ending autumn's lingering warmth. November 2025 was a month of transformation. A gentle autumn flipped to a fierce winter in just weeks. The change was almost cinematic, as if nature itself had decided to turn the page overnight. Across the country, the last golden leaves clung to branches, only to be swept away by the first biting winds of the season. The landscape, once painted in warm hues, was quickly blanketed in white, signaling the start of a new chapter for Canadians everywhere. Most of Canada enjoyed a final taste of warmth, while BC and Nunavut experienced their own unique weather stories. In British Columbia, the coast was shrouded in mist and rain, while Nunavut's vast tundra braced for the deep freeze ahead. Each region felt the shift in its own way, but all were united by the anticipation of what was to come. The country's vastness was on display, with rain on the west coast, warmth in the prairies, and delayed sea ice in the Arctic. In Vancouver, umbrellas became a daily accessory, while the prairies basked in a rare stretch of late-season sun. Meanwhile, the Arctic watched and waited as the sea ice formed more slowly than usual, a reminder of the ever-changing climate. The parade of storms moved from coast to coast, evolving from rain to snow as the pattern flipped. Weather systems swept across the map, bringing dramatic shifts in temperature and precipitation. Roads that were wet one day became icy the next, and communities prepared for whatever the skies would deliver. The defining moment came when Arctic air surged east, bringing snow and freezing temperatures from Manitoba to the Maritimes. Winnipeg was buried under a thick layer of snow, while Nova Scotia braced for blizzard conditions. The cold front swept relentlessly, leaving no region untouched by winter's grip. Winter's arrival was sudden and absolute, demanding resilience from Canadians everywhere, and families dug out their warmest coats, and the familiar sound of ice scrapers echoed through neighborhoods. Streets transformed overnight, and daily routines shifted to accommodate the new reality. November showcased Canada's capacity for both lingering warmth and abrupt cold. One moment, sunlight streamed through windows. The next, thermometers plunged and frost crept across the land. It was a month of contrasts, a reminder of the country's unpredictable spirit. As snow blanketed the land, Canadians adapted, shovels out, winter tires on, ready for the long season ahead. Sidewalks filled with bundled figures, and the hum of snowblowers became a familiar soundtrack. Preparation was key, and communities came together to face the challenges of winter. The only thing more certain than winter's arrival is the resilience of those who face it. From children building snow forts to neighbors lending a hand, the spirit of togetherness shone through. Canadians met the season head-on, turning adversity into opportunity for connection and joy. November 2025 was a classic Canadian story of change, challenge, and adaptation. As the landscape transformed, so did the people, embracing the cold, finding beauty in the snow, and proving once again that winter is not just a season, but a defining part of the Canadian experience.